A little bit tricky at first, but I got the hang of it. For more Hawaii videos, make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a new video. Aloha, I'm Mariam and this is Yes to Hawaii. We make Hawaii videos to take the guesswork out of planning your trip. I just got back from Maui this past weekend and it was absolutely amazing. A friend and I did an ATV tour on Maui that I wanted to share with you guys. If you're looking for a way to see Maui, this is it. There's so many different ways you can see Maui, whether it's air, land, sea. The island of Maui is a lot bigger than my home island of Oahu, so we did a lot of driving. But ATVs, this is what's up. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys a review of the activity and show you everything that you need to know before you actually go. Keep in mind, now that travel is slowly reopening and Hawaii is slowly reopening, activities do book up. If this is something that you wanna do, definitely make sure to book early. It's not unheard of for activities to book up 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month or so in advance. As always, I'll leave timestamps in the description box below, so feel free to skip around the video to the parts that you came here for. I'll go over a review. I'll also compare ATV versus UTV, what to wear and bring, what to expect, the check-in process, how to get there, know before you go, and how to book. You can also go to our website, yestohawaii.com/Maui travel guide to read a little bit more about my trip this past week, what things you can do on Maui, what restaurants I went to, what you should pack, and lots more. So first off, this is a proper ATV tour. So what do I mean by that? I've lived on Oahu for 15 years. 10 of those years I worked in tourism. I have been incredibly fortunate to have worked as a concierge for a major travel company, so I've spent time putting together guest vacations, giving them personalized recommendations, and being lucky enough to try these activities that I can recommend myself. This way I can give you a genuine, personalized review for activities I've actually done, restaurants I've actually eaten at, and sites I've actually seen. So when I say this is a great ATV tour, it's not because it's the only ATV tour that I've ever done. Over the past few years, I've actually done 7 ATV tours, including this one on Oahu, my home island, Maui, Big Island, and Kauai. Like this tour, it's good. What I really liked about this tour is that it gave you the option to book either single rider ATVs and the multi-passenger UTVs. So why is this important? Personally, I prefer the side-by-side UTVs for a couple reasons. First off, if you're traveling with friends, it's so much easier to take photos together, to chat, point out things that you're seeing on the tour, whereas you don't really get that when you're on a single rider ATV. On the single rider ATVs, you have to keep both hands on the handlebars, so it's harder to take photos and you can't really converse with anybody in your group. With this specific tour, they do have photo stops, so you will be able to get out and take photos with your group. However, when you're on the actual tour itself, there's not a whole lot of conversation going on there, unless of course you're in the side-by-sides. I personally love the side-by-sides. There's plenty of time that you can switch up driving, so both you and your passenger have the option to drive. You can also drive the entire time if you want by doing the single rider ATVs, or if you have an odd number in your group, such as 3s or 5s. Either way, it's a great option. Keep in mind you're on an outdoor tour and it can rain. I love using these Aloha Collection splash-proof bags. They're super light, easy to pack, and this is what I use to stash my lip balm, my wallet, my cell phone, everything that I didn't want exposed to the elements. If I was on the single rider ATVs instead, I would have probably brought this bag. It's a clear, splash-proof hip pack. It's pretty much like a fanny pack, and this is perfect for keeping your phone dry, your ID together, everything that you need right here. Next, how do you get there? Well, you need a car. You'll check in at the Maui Mountain Activities parking lot, which is in Wailuku. On your ticket, when you make the reservation, you'll get an address. Go ahead and plug that address into your GPS. However, look out for this bright yellow sign that's shown here. This sign, you'll see this before your GPS says that you've arrived. So when you see the sign, don't keep going, take a left and park here. We drove from Ka'anapali to this location and Google Maps listed it at about 30 miles, which should take about 50 minutes. However, traffic can be unpredictable, so I would definitely recommend giving yourself a buffer window. We gave ourselves a 30-minute buffer window, and I'm so glad that we did because we did hit a little bit of traffic. It was nice not having to rush or worry about being late, and we got there a few minutes early as well. Question of the day, what is your favorite thing to do on Maui? Leave a comment down below. So what should you expect when you check in? We arrived here at about 12 o'clock for a 12:15 check-in. We saw the sign and we turned, but we weren't sure if this was the exact place because our GPS told us to go farther. So we turned around, drove up the road a little bit, realized we weren't really seeing anything, so we came back to the parking lot. We talked to the guide later and they said to make sure that you definitely just park in this parking lot because that's where you're going to meet the guides anyway. Once everybody got there, our guide checked us in. Then we followed her up the road about 10 minutes to where the ATVs were located. We headed up this road here This is the exact same road that we went up when we thought we were at the wrong place. You'll follow your guide all the way up. The scenery is super beautiful out here. It's very lush, very green. You've got some ocean views on the right. When we got to this section, we took a left here. Well, left-ish. And then we headed up here. As you can see, it's really, really steep and it gets super, super bumpy. So if you have a lower car like a Camaro or something, it could be a little bit tricky for you. It turns over to this dirt lot here, and we've arrived. We parked, we headed into this check-in area, we were sized up for our helmets, grabbed our goggles, and went ahead to fill out our safety waivers. And if you want to grab a quick beverage, they do offer water, juice, sodas, a little bit of a light refreshment. There's also a porta potty style restroom if you need it. This is the last and only restroom on the entire tour, so keep that in mind. We were actually in our ATVs around 1 p.m. and we got back from the tour just before 3 o'clock. We took some time for instructions on how to use the ATVs and then our safety briefing, and we were off. The views were amazing. We had those ocean views, we were almost in the clouds, all of this lush greenery around us, and we saw a waterfall. Here's more of the beautiful coastline at the photo stops. This video does not do it justice. It was so gorgeous. At the stops, we learned a little bit more about the history of the island.
The Hawaiian word for that is heiau. So there's different grave markers. You can either take rock and make an oval around your grave or make one big mound with it. So different stones, different shapes, they all represent different things out there. When we get down there, we're gonna...
And now for the driver swap. A little bit tricky at first, but I got the hang of it. Turn it around. Once I thought you were mine, baby. We're safe and sound. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. Know before you go. So this tour runs daily except on Sundays. As I said before, helmets, goggles, beverages, all of that's provided as part of the tour. It is not wheelchair accessible, and you have to be under 300 pounds, which is about 136 kilograms, in order to do the tour. Make sure that you thoroughly reread your ticket and keep an eye on your email in case of any changes. This ATV tour was done on Friday, May 21st. Just a few days later, on Tuesday, May 25th, our Hawaii governor, Governor Ige, lifted the outdoor mask mandate. So what does that mean? That means you aren't required to wear masks in Hawaii outdoors anymore. Everyone is required to wear them indoors regardless of their vaccination status. So we finished our tour, had an amazing time, and now we're headed back to Kaanapali. On the way back, we took the northern route. So this route is a lot slower than the southern route which we took, and the reason why is because there's quite a few roads that are very narrow. You have to slow down quite a bit. Some areas you have to slow down, you have to let other cars pass you or go around you, similar to the one-lane roads and one-lane bridges that you'll see on Road to Hana. If you've done Road to Hana, this road is actually, I think, personally, a little bit more sketch than Road to Hana. I had actually done this northern route before with a friend of mine when I had visited Maui, and he's one of the best drivers I know. We did the same route in this really fun red Jeep and had an amazing time. The views were gorgeous, ocean views, scenery, everything that you could possibly want. So when the opportunity arose to do the same route again, I absolutely said yes. When we decided to take this northern route, the weather was clear. If it had been raining or we had poor weather, I wouldn't recommend taking this route just for visibility issues and because it does have some narrow roads. The drive was absolutely gorgeous. The scenery completely breathtaking, and we stopped quite a bit in order to get out and take some gorgeous photos. On the way back to Kaanapali, we passed by two local art galleries, Turnbull Studios and Karen Lay's gallery. Both were super fun. We went inside. They both do sell some snacks if you wanted some light refreshments, but they also featured art from local artists. The first studio does a lot of their work on consignment, so they feature tons of local artists. The person that was working there showed us around. It was absolutely phenomenal. Really, really cool to experience local art here from artists on the island of Maui. If this is something that you want to check out, I would definitely recommend checking out these places on your way back or on a different day. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll leave a link in the description box below for a video on our drive as well as those two art galleries. And lastly, how to book. This video was sponsored by HawaiiActivities.com. They have activities like this one for Maui as well as the other Hawaiian islands as well. There's also a coupon code for subscribers. When you go to make a booking, type in yes to Hawaii with 2 as the number 2 to get a 5% discount on any of the activities that you book. If you're interested in this activity or other activities on the Hawaiian Islands, I'll leave a link in the description box below. If you're headed to Maui, you might like some of our upcoming videos. How to island hop Oahu to Maui, how to take a COVID test in Waikiki to island hop, Lahaina Now to see what Lahaina looks like right now. It's very similar to our Waikiki Now series where we go on walks around Lahaina. That way you can see what it looks like right now. Road to Hana. And lastly, one of the most beautiful sunsets that I have ever seen in the clouds at Haleakala. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if there's any other Hawaii videos you'd like to see, definitely leave them in the comments down below.
Okay.